Welcome back. The Wisconsin Elections Commission Friday approved a number of new orders targeting the city of Madison after nearly 200 ballots went uncounted last November. The clerk resigned amid the fallout, and now the city is pushing back, arguing the commission has overstepped its authority. Commissioners Friday ordered local election officials to make numerous changes, including detailed internal plans, training documents, deadlines for printing poll books, and specific steps for handling and documenting absentee ballots. Mike Haas is the Madison City Attorney and the acting city clerk. He joins us now. Mike, good to see you.
Thank you, Matt. Good to be with you.
First, just give me your initial reaction to this 5-1 vote from the commission.
Well, I think we appreciate that the commission gave us an opportunity to provide input and took that into consideration. As you may know, we requested or suggested changes to 5 of the original proposed orders, and all 5 of those orders were modified by the commission, I think, to be more in line with what we thought was reasonable and realistic for our office to accomplish. So we appreciate that the commission's attention to that input from our office.
Is the city, are you going to comply with these orders?
Well, we'll certainly continue to work with the commission to make improvements. As we told the commission, Madison has already implemented numerous changes for the February and April elections, which went off successfully. And I think that the clerk's office, I certainly will not be here, but the clerk's office will need to manage what the commission ordered and provide feedback to the commission about how it plans to accomplish those.
That wasn't a direct yes in terms of complying. Do you plan any action, further action to challenge what the commission has ordered?
No, I don't think that serves voters to continue a legal debate with the commission. I don't see any issue with the clerk's office being able to comply. I think some of the specifics of logistically how to comply still need to be sorted out by the clerk's office, but I anticipate that the city will be meeting what the commission requested.
Mike, some of the commissioners seemed a little dismayed at your pushback to what they have ordered. What was your point that you were attempting to make here?
Well, having been in, at the state elections agency and written and approved many of those orders, my initial reaction was that this order was really out of the ordinary in how specific it was, not to correct an ongoing issue, but to require additional processes in the future for a clerk who's no longer with the city and that are not required by any other municipality, and that go beyond what is actually required in the statute. So I thought it was important to document that we all have roles in elections at the state level, at the county level, at the municipal level. I think we're all better off when we work together to serve the voters. But I thought it was important to note what the proper role of a municipal clerk is and what the commission's role is.
To Ann Jacobs, who said Friday, well, listen, no one else failed to count absentee ballots in November, you would say what?
Well, I really don't care to critique comments of individual commissioners. They have their perspective looking at elections from the statewide level. Clerks and their staffs need to deal with the nitty-gritty of conducting elections at the ground level. As I said, I think we're best when we use those perspectives to work together.
Mike, moving forward, should voters in Madison feel confident that their absentee ballots will be counted?
I think absolutely. As I said, we always revisit what happened at election, look at what lessons were learned. That's true at both the state level and the local level. Changes have been put in place starting with the February election. I think those changes have worked. We continue to revisit those, consult with our poll workers, see what they have to say, and just on a path of continuous improvement.
Mike Haas, the Madison City Attorney, acting city clerk. Mike, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt.
Up next, the dramatic flood insurance spike in Wisconsin.